Oh, video response, yeah. So I do a search every now and then on my name, Inmendham. And, you know, this video just came up now. This one by Unseen Perfidy. Whatever that is, perfidy. Anyway, so yeah, I saw the icon on Edible Napalm's video, and it was the same icon as the other videos he made in the past, so I just figured he was posting his old video. I didn't know it was a new video. So apparently Indifferent Sky did a response to it, but she probably fucked it up, so I'll do it, right? It's only 3 minutes, so this ought to be easy. Shouldn't take too long, right? Oh, advertising.
I told you, we don't want no candy bars, little boy.
Tuesday, September 17th.
Skip ad, please. Yeah, let's do that.
Howdy, everyone.
Fuck you.
So, Inmendham
you're
made a
ugly.
video response to a video that Edible Napalm the
Little fatter.
Super made. I'm going to link to Napalm's video as well as Inmendham's.
Very exciting.
I'm not going to respond to all of Gary's videos. It's usual, sort of like he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about stuff.
Oh, yeah, blah, blah,
Like he doesn't know what a public utility is.
Yeah, I do know what a public utility is. I was giving examples of things regulated. I pointed out coal mines, insurance. I certainly didn't think insurance was a public utility. I just was pointing out that public utilities, public infrastructure, basic necessities to a good life and a civilization are often regulated. That if there's a social interest like health and welfare, that those things are regulated and the companies are obliged to do the right thing. Yeah. Fuck you.
Also, magically is now he brings me up a few times. Not by name, by description. Something about smegma, apparently. He also has now increased the magical, crazy taxation on cigarette number from 800% to 1,000%.
Okay, all right. So he just called it magical. So again, you can look this up. It's not complicated, and you ask anybody who's smoked more than 30 years. Okay, we know what cigarettes cost to produce. It's a little tiny thing, little tobacco paper. Okay, they're made by machines now. They dump tobacco in a little hopper, it mixes it up, heats it up a little bit, throws some chemicals into it, and then shoves it into these little paper sticks. Okay, and the fact is, it doesn't cost shit to put 20 of them in a little paper package. Alright, and that even if companies doubled the price of the production cost, okay, they should cost about 50 cents a pack. All right, if we let the Chinese import them, yeah, it'd be maybe even cheaper. Okay, they'll probably put some whatever Magnemite in there or some other kind of bullshit, but whatever, you know, some marijuana. Regardless, all right, we know what the price should be. Okay, what the price would be if they were not fucked with, all right, over the last decade or 15 years, if the price of them wasn't artificially inflated by government. Okay, the price would be 50 cents a pack, and they are $6 a pack. All right, so it's you're paying 90% fees and 10% for the product. It is the most outrageously taxed feed thing in the world. When you buy them, you pay more sales tax on taxes than you are paying sales tax on the product itself. It's outrageous taxation, and just keep pretending it isn't the truth. It's the fucking truth. You can lie all you want, you propagandist, and that's all it is propaganda. Let's pretend it doesn't exist. Let's pretend it's not. $200 a month, more than my fucking utilities to live here, to smoke a fucking cigarette. And don't think that that's not somehow completely anti-liberty, anti-Jefferson, anti-anything reasonable. Because that's what it fucking is. So just keep lying, fatty.
So apparently it's increased by 200% in the past, 9 months or so?
5 years, as I pointed out in the video, but it doesn't really matter. Okay, when I said before, I used the number 800 to be conservative. It's a conservative estimate of the inflated price. Because guess what? It is kind of relative. Cigarettes in Kentucky were always cheaper than they were in New York or New Jersey because there was existing taxes at a higher rate in those states previous. But those existing higher taxes are the difference between 10% and 70%, not fucking, 500% and 1,000%.
Now, he makes a very interesting argument, and I want to play a certain part of his video because it's very amusing to me. Now,
cool. Super.
You're going to hear Edible Napalm talk in a second, and Edible Napalm is basically talking about...
another preposterous liar.
The Constitution, how it basically applies to, like, what the government can and can't do to its citizens, that sort of thing. Defines a limited government power. So when you hear Edible Napalm talk, that's what he's speaking about.
Yeah, and let's understand, it is the government's power to regulate, to oblige, all kinds of things to behave consistent with what we've established as the basic principles of our civilization. Yes, that's true.
You fucking piece of shit.
I forgot I paused it there.
And what they can do and can't do to its citizenry.
Yeah, again, what they can do and what they can't do to their citizenry. No, that's not all it was about, okay? It really wasn't just about preventing government from making life miserable. It was about life being miserable. That was really what it was about. And obviously there was a lot of huge flaws in this whole idea that only property owners were voting, women weren't voting. A lot of things were really wrong with their principles. But it was about the fucking principles. And having, the idea of rights, that we hold these truths to be self-evident.
Well, again, that's just not the truth, okay? It's already established. The Supreme Court interprets the fucking Constitution, douchebag. So the Supreme Court has already established that First Amendment rights migrate to the acts of all people in this country, okay? And so if anybody is abridging your civil rights, all right, they're going to enforce your civil rights. They're going to defend your civil rights.
Okay, so firstly, I'm glad that Gary finally understands that the Supreme Court interprets the Constitution.
Yeah, so just be a liar, right? There's no doubt that I don't understand that. There's videos from when I was allowed on public access TV, and then I was not allowed on public access TV. That's right, I was denied access to public access TV in America because of scummy fascists like you, because of you shit talkers who have made it possible for a bunch of fascist judges to be sitting on benches making decisions. But yeah, when I used to be able to be on public access TV, I did a number of fucking 5-minute commentaries, and in those commentaries I clearly point out that, yes, I fully understand that the Supreme Court interprets the Constitution. So yeah, fuck you, cunt. Liar.
Something he didn't understand before, so I guess Gary is now officially he doesn't retract this claim, he reiterates it earlier in the video, about cigarette taxes apparently being unconstitutional, because again, he doesn't know what the Supreme Court and other institutions have said, about excise taxes. But
yeah, no, you don't know what they've said about excise taxes, okay? That you have to tax similar things similarly. That's what they've said, okay? Now, do you not understand what a similar tax is? That 20% is not similar to 1,000%? That taxing cigarettes at 1,000% and not taxing fatty, greasy, fat man food at fucking goddamn 1,000%, or taxing at no percent, right? We don't tax fatty food at all, and we tax cigarettes at 1,000%. We tax alcohol somewhere under 100%, and yet we tax cigarettes at 1,000%. Alcohol kills little kids in cars who are minding their own business. Cigarettes kills people who have already paid all their Social Security taxes. The average person dying of cigarettes smoking dies at 65. They don't die at fucking goddamn 13. But the average drunk driver victim, let's go find out their average age. What's the median age of the fucking person killed by drunk drivers? You fucking asshole. What's the median age of the average person killed by obesity, fuckhead? Let's go find that fact out. Alright? Similarly, taxed similarly. Okay, you can have elements of discrimination. You don't have to have exact, perfect equity. Okay, those are the words they've used in the decisions. There doesn't have to be exact, perfect equity. Do you think there's something you could mistake as, oh, just not exact, perfect equity between 10% and 1,000%? You can't see that has nothing to do with anything exact or equitable? Yeah, because you're a liar. You're just a fucking petty, Weasley liar. You can't admit that 10% or 20% has nothing to do with being even though in the realm of fucking equitable to 1,000%. Because you're a lying scum. A propagandist for the government, by the government. You're for the bigots, for the fascist, for the motherfucking ass. You fucking weasel, too. You do that in the context of being some gay person who thinks you are entitled to fucking goddamn rights. You do this in the context of that bigotry. You sit there and say, the majority's not allowed to be a bigot against my homosexuality, but they're sure as fuck allowed to be a bigot against goddamn cigarette smokers. And there isn't even an equitable difference. It's not like there's some other minority that they're treating, like they're somehow treating homosexuals extremely different. No. So fuck you, cunt. I mean, they treat atheists as bad as homosexuals. They treat a lot of minority ideologies as bad. And you sit there and will make a whine like this. Make a goddamn. You deserve it. Like I said, you deserve whatever bigotry can come your way when you sit there and endorse it in other people. You're just a fucking bigot.
The more interesting thing here is that by Gary's logic, because, apparently the First Amendment restricts every single person's actions, and, we're specifically talking about things like YouTube and the ability of websites to restrict people's access to them or what they can upload or say or do on said.
No, this isn't complicated. I haven't said that the First Amendment applies to YouTube if you don't regulate YouTube. I've said the word regulation about 7 million times now. Okay, that's an exaggeration, but it's well over a fucking 100 times in these fucking videos. Alright, I've said the word fucking regulate. That, yeah, you can't fucking enforce free speech until you create regulation that makes it possible. That's right. So again, just lie some more.
Websites. So apparently, by Gary's own logic, every single time he's blocked anyone in the United States on his YouTube channels, because he has multiple channels, if Gary blocks you on his website...
What's the point of the multiple channels? Yeah, multiple channels, all public. I don't have any private or hidden channels. They're all known by everybody who cares to know. So, what was the point of that? There's separate subjects on separate channels, and part of that I had to do just because I had to kind of protect my channel from being do not godded, which is 600 videos deleted by YouTube for a fucking image, a fucking figure art drawing. 600 videos deleted for a figure art drawing.
And on his YouTube channels, by his own logic, he's violated, apparently, your civil rights.
Okay, so he thinks people have a civil right to put, like, bumper stickers on my car. That's their civil right. I mean, let's find an analogy for what the comment section on a video is, right? So we can, I'm not denying anybody access to exactly the same rights I'm requesting. I'm requesting a permit to go to let's say, protest outside the White House, or to have a protesty thing. All right, I go and I get a permit, and now I protest. I make my protest. And so let's say there's some opposing force. So like say I'm a black guy, and the Klan members are saying, no, we should be able to stand right in front of you and mock you while you're speaking. Does that make sense? No. They should be in the audience, even with big giant placards as big as they can make, as big as they can hold up. They should be able to sit in my audience and do that. And that makes sense in a free speech environment. Why shouldn't they get their own permit and have their own fucking protest, right? I can't shove my video in somebody else's face. Comments are shoved in our faces, okay? I can't do this to them with my video. I can't make my video go right in their face like that. I can't put it on their channel. most of these weaselly cunts don't make videos. If you do look at who I block people propensity. The largest majority of them are people. The only people I usually block who actually make videos is because they are supporting somebody who I think is goddamn evil. So it's just a message to them that, no, you can't do that and be anywhere nearly associated with me, fuckhead. And it's the rest of them are just trolls who are unaccountable trolls. They can do whatever the fuck they want, but they can put a bumper sticker on my car, but they don't have a car. I can't put one on their car. So they can come key my car. I can't key their car because they don't have a car. They don't have anything for me to mock and ridicule and say hobo or meth addict. I don't get to do that to them. And why the fuck would I want to anyway is part of the argument here. I don't want the right to Photoshop, you dickhead. Okay? That's not what I want. What I want is a fair and equitable game. And if you can't treat me with respect in the fucking comment section on my own fucking video, where you shove it right in my face, if you're going to be a heckler on my show, then do it with a little bit of class, or fuck you. Not complicated. Alright, there. So anyway, look, we really should deal with this once and for all, forever kind of a thing, right? This isn't that complicated. We can come up with some kind of analogies, can't we? Comment sections on videos are not exactly the same thing as fundamental free speech territory, right? I mean, it is kind of a specialized place for making commentary. I mean, I'm not wrong to say it is a forced presence, right? That somebody can force putting their icon on your material. So, I mean, another analogy might be is that, yeah, I have a placard and I'm protesting something on the side of the street, and some asshole's expecting the right to put his icon on the bottom and write his signature on it, and say some little crappy shit on my placard. Why would I want to give him any extra presence? Why am I obligated to do that with exercising my right? Why shouldn't he get his own placard? Why should I have to carry him on mine? Why? Does that really make any sense? It's like me publishing a book at a library, right? We're called publishers here on YouTube, right? I'm not denying somebody's publication rights, am I? Am I taking their card out of the card catalog in some way? No. They can have a book. They can have a card, a presence. They can try to promote it, and they can kind of try to earn some credibility. But what they want to do is put their icon on my card. They want to scribble crap on my card. Will we allow that at the library for people to do their editorial commenting on the card catalog? Write shit about, oh, the author's a homosexual. Ooh, he's a gay faggot. Should they be allowed to do that? Should they be allowed to do it to the books in the library? Okay, some guy writes a book about gay life and shit, and some fucking asshole can write on it, faggot, faggot, faggot. And we'll call that free speech? I mean, how big a jackass are you going to be here? You're saying this is the same thing as having fundamental free speech rights of publication, of editorial comment, of protest? You're saying this is where people's free speech should exist? And that they should have like I said, this isn't like some sort of special circumstance where, like, if you're going to put a bumper sticker on my car, that it ought to be at least polite. I mean, how you can't see how this is essentially saying they somehow have a right to tattoo me. Maybe it's not a permanent tattoo, but they have a right to editorialize on me. Why do they have a right to editorialize on me? And I'd argue it's the same non-right they have to steal an image of you and sit there and write shit on it and then publish it and call it their free speech. I think that's absolute bullshit. I think the idea is you have a right to create your own art. You have a right to create your own words. You don't have a right to write on the cover of somebody else's book. I mean, you really can't make this distinction. You really can't concede that there is a distinction. You're just going to keep pretending that this is just like me telling them they can't have a YouTube channel. I block them from access to slandering me on my own damn video, and I'm somehow the bad guy? That I've somehow suppressed their rights when they give me no right to do the same to them in the first place? And again, you could nail me for hypocrisy somewhere if I didn't ask the fucking internet to go ahead and block the fuck out of me. I don't want the right to slander you in your video comments section. You won't find any obnoxious, rude comments by me in people's videos. Why? Because it's obnoxious and rude. Because I know it's their video. And I really don't have a right to distract the subject or change the subject or say meth head or some other kind of crap. Because it's obnoxiously fucking rude. God, you people are just so fucking disgusting.
And he expects the Supreme Court and the government of the United States of America to come in and prevent him from what he's doing. So, Gary, since you've now admitted...
Yeah, exactly. If I was actually stopping them from being able to draw their own sign, stopping them from standing right next to me with their own sign, if I was actually doing something that was truly violating their fair access to free speech, yeah, you'd have an argument. And I would be for me being put in jail if that's what I was doing. If I was stopping them from having the same rights that I have, then yeah, you have an argument. But I'm not stopping them from exercising the same, let's say the same liberties that I'm exercising. I'm not exercising the liberty to slander people on their videos, so you have no fucking argument. I have no obligation to protect people's rights to slander people on their own videos.
To have violated, to have violated multiple dozens of people's civil rights.
So again, you think it's a civil right for somebody to put a bumper sticker on my car? I mean, again, maybe that's not fair. Or to heckle. You think people have a civil right to show up at a show and heckle somebody? Let's say it's a show they didn't pay to get into, right? They paid no fee to get in, and they have a right to heckle. They have a right to interrupt whatever's going on. So if I go to a play and I don't like it, I can stand up and I can say, "You all a bunch of niggers." And that's my free fucking speech right. I can just sit there for a half an hour and just typey a bunch of crap on their show. Yeah, I think that's a preposterous understanding of people's rights.
You upload videos of you blocking people at random. What sort of
Well, yeah, again, I don't block them at random, so that's a lie. I block them because they change the subject, all right, and they're essentially just haters. Why the fuck would I give an asshole who's just a hater a fucking right to put his icon, his fucking stupid name on my videos? Why would I let a hater put hate on my fucking car? Oh, that's right, I wouldn't.
punishment should you face from the United States government for violating people's civil rights by blocking them on YouTube? And
well, again, I would say that that's the obligation of government, but I would say for them to do it on YouTube, they have to regulate it first. They have to write a fucking law acknowledging the fact that this is vital public infrastructure, and we have to protect people's civil rights on this vital public infrastructure.
thus denying them the protections of the First Amendment. Thanks, Gary. I look forward to your reply, Schnickums.
Yeah, well, I don't know why you would look forward to it, but whatever. I mean, sorry I didn't get to it. I mean, but again, you gave the corporations the right to index the internet, and this is how the internet, they index it, okay? I mean, a video with Inmendham right in the title didn't show up in their index for 2 fucking days. So that's, that's the world run by YouTube, unaccountable by Google. Google, the internet search engine. The search engine telling people what's on the internet. The we're not evil, but yeah, we'll censor the fuck out of you corporation that's running the card catalog at the fucking library because you assholes won't demand better. Fuck. Alright, so writing comments on other people's videos is exactly the same as making videos. The two things are the same. No, they're not. And if you're going to say you have a right to slander me on my videos, then you have an obligation, in my opinion, to at least make videos that I can slander you on. But frankly, that's still not going to be equitable if it's just a fucking sock account and you just have one video about apple pie on it. So that's not really fair either. Right? Right? Yeah, right. Alright, so, fucking idiot. Fucking idiot. Fucking idiot. Yeah, I beat you. I said it first. Ha 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 ha. Jinx. There. You can't fart for 3 weeks. Jinx. Got you. That'll kill him. If he can't fart, he'll explode. Anyway. Oh, heavy traffic ahead. Yeah, what else? See, that's the kind of crap. This is the kind of rude, trash-talking, heckling drunk. You know, that the whole world would be better off without. Piro, what is Piro doing here again? Why does he keep doing this? He keeps commenting on complete rag videos, and he doesn't talk about the subject. I bet you, 10 bucks, I'll bet you 10 bucks he's not talking on the subject. Watch, watch, watch. Let's go find his first comment. Let's see. Sort by beta thingy. Yeah, thread. Let's go find Piro, the motherfucking cunt moron of the century. I mean, God, I'm just so sick of this shit. What's strange is, why does no content company offer upholding the First Amendment as a feature? Well, because guess what? Most people are fascist, motherfucking self-interested cunts, and they really don't give a fuck about the First Amendment. Duh. Is it not sellable or something? Yeah, that's right. You can't make any money off free speech. It's always about lying and conniving and distorting and perverting. All of these motherfucking cunts, right, who are pro-company and pro-government, anti-government, they're usually lying cunts. They make their living trying to steal money from people. All right, they're shyster, middlemen, salesmen. They don't make anything in the world. They don't create anything of value. They just find a way to connive and steal. They find some mechanism where I can resell something for twice the price and make a profit off people's inability to know that all they have to do is go to this source and get it for fucking half the price. Yeah, they're all a bunch of fucking lying, crooked, weaselly pieces of shit. That's what America's full of now. Maybe it just hasn't happened yet. I'd like to think so. I like to think private interests will find a way to incorporate free speech into their business model. If not, why not? Well, again, free speech is really about minority speech, right? The majority doesn't need free speech. They have Fox News, and they have CNN, and they have all these lying, talking head motherfuckers. The Democrats and the Republicans don't need free speech. It's the fucking progressives that need free speech, right? Yeah, so there's no money in it. The intellectuals need content in this world. They need something intelligent to watch, right? But no one's going to make intelligent content because guess what? You can't fucking sell crap to intelligent people. So yeah, we're fucked until we regulate the world, shithead. Gee, you can't be a little bit too stupid. Oh, yes, you can. How the fuck are private corporations to offer the government can't restrict your speech as a feature? Well, that's just bizarre. Right, again, so he still hasn't even acknowledged that when the government regulates something, the free speech rights go with the regulation. So when you create a commons or a public area, that public rights migrate to that public area. Okay, don't block me. The company would be saying, we will use the standard of First Amendment in our service. We will protect your speech as if it were the government, as if we were a public space. Well, I mean, see, as if we were a public space is already acknowledging that it's not about the government. It's about the public space. It's about the rights-empowered space being created. But again, no one gets it. So anyway. I mean, I really don't think... I mean, it would be ludicrous, I think, to think that it was the expectation of the people who wrote the United States Constitution that you would live in a world where, well, again, there's just no way to describe it, right? I mean, you could live in a world where you would say that private interest, like a gang of people, could stop you from speaking on public land, that they would endorse that. So say if you went on some public land 200 years ago, 250 years ago, that the expectation would be that they can just shut you up. They can tar and feather you and do whatever they want. I don't think that was the expectation in writing the First Amendment. That was the government that was the problem. No, there was an acknowledgement that people are a problem also, and that the United States government, the public space, is going to be a civilized space. You know, except for women and blacks and all minorities and gays and all that shit and witches and, you know. So anyway, I mean, they obviously hadn't got there. They really hadn't understood what the word hypocrisy means back then. You know, they should have put that somewhere in the Constitution. That, yeah, well, we'll try not to be a hypocrite in the future. You know, maybe in a few years we'll grow out of our hypocrisy. All men are created equal, except for the unequal ones. Yeah, I mean, it really was hilarious. So anyway, fuck you and such.